there, folks. Welcome back to Rule of Thumb. Today we're going to can the corned beef that we made from brisket. So, in a previous video, you guys have seen how I made this, the whole process, keeping it in the refrigerator, the whole from beginning to end process of making the corned beef. So, as you saw in that video, I ended up with 6 half-gallon jars of corned beef, plus the little pint which I cooked up at the end of that video to test it. So, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out of these half-gallon jars. I'm going to wash it all thoroughly and get the brine off of the meat. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack it into quart jars. And what I'll do is I'll bring you back when I'm to that point to kind of show you that process, and we'll talk about getting it into the jars and getting it into the canner. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this stuff off and get it ready to go, and then I'll be back. Okay, folks, welcome back. So what we've done while we were gone is Josh kindly helped me get all of the brisket out of the big jars and rinsed, and we packed most of the jars, but I've saved the last couple here for you folks. So all we really are doing is taking the chunks of beef, putting them down in the jar. We're not trying to mash it down into the jar. You don't want to overfill the jars because you don't want it to become a density issue. You want the heat to be able to get all the way through and process all of the meat in the jars. There isn't an approved canning method for corned beef. This is just how I do it, so you are not going to be able to go on and find probably any FDA approved method for canning corned beef in jars. So you can see I just loosely packed both of those jars. That's what we did with all the rest of our jars. Wash my hands here real quick. Now, what I'm going to do is take some paper towel and some vinegar here. We're going to make sure that we wipe the rims of these jars very thoroughly, because if there's any fat that touched that could affect the seal on your jars. So we want to make sure that we are cleaning them very thoroughly. Now, here's where it's going to differ from what some other people may do. Everybody's probably got a little bit of a different method on how they're going to do this. A lot of people would put the lid on in the ring and can this in what is called a raw pack method. I have done that, and it turns out fine. What I prefer to do is to add just a little bit of water into mine, just to, I guess, facilitate the cooking process. So I will take just a touch of water, and now what we did is we used lukewarm water to rinse the beef. Because we're going to come, so it's not, I'd say maybe 1.5 inches of headspace there. Because we wanted to bring the beef back up to close to room temperature. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Spurtle. You guys have seen me use this before. This came from QVC. And I'm just going to debubble the jar. Make sure that there's liquid all the way down in there. And so you can see I'm not quite to the top because the meat is probably gonna, oops, I guess I gotta get you in camera here. So I'm not quite to the top. I'm about maybe 1.5 inches, maybe close to 2 inches. The meat is going to produce some juice of its own. So that's where I like to put mine. I'll go back here with my vinegar just one more time, just in case. And then we'll go ahead and take a lid. I had these sitting in warm water just to warm up that seal a little. Fingertip tight. And this is going to go into the canner. Now, as far as the canner goes, I'm running 2 canners at once because I ended up with 14 quarts. So I got my canners set up on my stove, and I am going to start them. I just literally started the canner now because what I want to do is bring the canner up to temp at the same time as I'm bringing the beef up to temp, because I want things to come to temperature together so that I don't have issues with evacuation. So I did the same with this jar. A little bit of water, a little bit more vinegar, lid, and a ring, and into the canner it goes. So we'll show you another one here just so you can see the space I'm talking about. And that is what we're going to do. So now I'm going to get all of these in the canner. I'm going to bring that canner up. I'm going to start it on a medium-low heat, and I'm going to gradually raise the temperature on my stove till I get everything brought up to temperature together. When we get to the point where we are having a steady stream of steam, we'll let that vent for 10 minutes. Then we'll get our weight on, bring it up to 11 pounds of pressure, which is what I need in my canner, and we're going to can these for 90 minutes. So I'm going to get that going, and I'll bring you folks back at the end and show you what it looks like. Hi folks, welcome back. I thought I would bring you back for the finished product. So I just took these jars out of the canner, and I decided to go without vinegar this time to test out the, vinegar, no vinegar question. Now I know I can clean these up, but I really like the looks of them better when you use the vinegar. So, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but it's a beautiful jar, perfect headspace, but you can see the white cloudiness on the jars. Could do without that. So, I ended up with 14 quarts of amazing corned beef to go on my shelves. This was, an experiment that I decided to try last November. I loved how it turned out, so I was ready to go full force and do it all myself. It is a fair amount of work. I'm not going to lie about that. I mean, trimming up the briskets, getting it all cut up, making your brine, leaving it in your fridge for 7 to 10 or 11 days in my case, canning it, all that kind of stuff. It's a labor of love. There's no question about that. But I know what went into it. There's no extra chemicals in it. I know exactly how it was made. I know exactly how it was canned. And I can feel good about pulling it off the shelf and making a meal out of it and knowing that I'm getting the best... Sorry, that was a timer for dinner. I'm getting the best quality product that's out there as far as I'm concerned. So you got to make a choice what you want to do. Plus, I got corned beef at brisket prices. So there's that. So I hope you like this video. Make sure you come back tomorrow and check out Mandy's video. I'm sure she's got something amazing coming for you. Check out everybody else in the collaboration. I'll have everybody's links below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Come back and see us soon. And as always, I hope you had a great day.